Ken Paxton, this guy is so corrupt, and it's fascinating to see that he became so corrupt that even in Texas, I mean, remember, this is a state where the lieutenant governor was basically going and cheerleading. We could just have older people die, and if I had the opportunity to do that for my grandkids, that's what I would do. Yeah. I mean, this is just give you a sense of like the standards in Texas.
Yeah, what better gift can you bequeath your future ancestors than dying for the economy?
Exactly. You can bury me and put me underneath like a big tomato plant or a tree and just get bounty for everybody. Here is a clip. This is from which one is this? This is just from the Texas legislature. This is where the Austin Star-Ledger reporter posts video. This is legislators delivering the articles of impeachment. They've got to do the same thing where they come across from the from their chamber into this chamber. And I think all of them are Republicans there. I don't know. There may be a Democrat or two in that crew. I'm not quite sure. But
for optics, I mean, we'll get into it. They probably don't want any Democrats in there.
Well, I don't know. I mean, they may want a couple just to make it seem like I don't know what they're, but just think about how corrupt you got to be. Here is a ex-Trump administration official, Cameron Kinsey. I don't know what she did.
I'm trying to look that up, but she's a former Trump official and a White House former correspondent under Trump and a former D1 cheerleader.
Yeah, and when answering the question, how corrupt do you need to be? Well, here she's going to give you an example.
So the Texas House has announced that they are going to vote on a resolution to impeach Attorney General Ken Paxton tomorrow, the 27th. Note, this is happening less than 1 week after Paxton called on Speaker Dade Phelan to resign because he appeared to be drunk on the House floor. Drunk Dade, as well as other Texas...
Pause it for 1 second. I, for one, just can't focus on anything other than her eyes reading that teleprompter. I mean, she's good at it, but you can see her eyes. You can see where she's trailing across.
Reading a message.
Yeah, as soon as she said note, like, okay.
It kind of removes the casual sort of familiarity of the selfie form.
Yeah, a little bit. But I wonder what, why there's such value to Trump, the Trump world. I mean, for them to be generating scripts for her on this.
Yeah, and like she called it in the tweet, she called it an attack by the Uniparty, which is just interesting how they're, and like MAGA is going to stand against the Uniparty, how they're played.
Right.
1 week after Paxton called on Speaker Dade Phelan to resign because he appeared to be drunk on the House floor. Drunk Dade, as well as other Texas sellouts attempting to overturn the people's choice by removing duly elected Ken Paxton from office, is profoundly moronic. I stand with Paxton. I know that MAGA stands with Paxton, and it's time to vote these rhinos out.
Yeah, interesting. It really does. I think this is, I mean, the real story obviously is Paxton getting impeached. But the idea of Trump setting up this notion of Uniparty, now who knows if they carry this on? But this really smells of Bannon to me.
Yeah.
And this is their, and I don't know that they'll get other opportunities to expand this narrative, but this is going to be in their repertoire. This is the swamp. This is 2024's swamp is going to be the Uniparty. And it'll be interesting to see how he reacts to the debt ceiling deal. My guess is Trump is going to be out against it if we haven't already seen that.
If I was Trump, I'd tell him to keep the powder dry on the Uniparty stuff for somebody who isn't like an obvious criminal like Ken Paxton.
Well, I don't think they care about that.
I mean, just, it might lose efficacy after a while.
This is This is really fascinating. He was impeached over the weekend, apparently overwhelmingly in the House-controlled, the Republican-controlled House, and they were just delivering the articles of impeachment to the Senate. That trial is going to start by August 28th. And I don't know. I have no sense of Texas politics as to whether they will convict him. But it would seem, I would be surprised if they don't at this point. It was written up in the AP as like the charges include bribery and misuse of office. And AP writes, following nearly a decade of scandal and criminal accusations that is dogged. Remember, he's the AG. He's like literally the top policeman in Texas. He is suspended from office until that trial begins, which again must begin before August 28th. And in an interesting twist, there will be 31 senators who could act as jurors. One of those senators is, well, her last name is Paxton, and she's married to the defendant.
Wow.
It's unclear whether she'll recuse herself from the proceedings. Does anybody want to take a bet? She apparently declined comment on Monday when she was approached about it. I mean, they're just going to replace him with another Republican. So, you know, I think it's a good thing not to have openly corrupt people that are so corrupt that even Republicans are trying to impeach them. But
It's wild. Like, this is from a 2019 Texas Tribune, this 2019-2000 Texas Tribune headline. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton was indicted 5 years ago. He still hasn't gone to trial. Like, this is just the guy who's been leading the Attorney General office in one of the biggest states in the country.
I don't know how guys like that don't have a heart attack. Yeah. Like, if I've been indicted 5 years ago, I'm waiting trial, and then, you know, that's halfway through the process of me getting impeached. I
get heart palpitations over much less.
Are you kidding? I don't think I can handle it. Hey, folks, one of the biggest challenges of doing this show and of just following the news is being an educated media consumer. And I have found the perfect site, Ground News. What it does is it breaks down how a story is being covered. Left, center, right? Try it for yourself. Subscribe using my link to get 30% off the Vantage plan for unlimited access. It's a fascinating site. They give you bias ratings. They give you ownership ratings. They give you factuality ratings. They give you a map feature so you can look and see how different stories are being reported in different places in the world. You can filter for specific locations or topics. I like to read stuff about Social Security and the Supreme Court. You can follow what you're interested in. They also have blind spots, things that you may have missed. Go to ground.news/majority to stay fully informed on breaking news, compare coverage, and avoid media bias. Become an educated media consumer. Take advantage of the 30% off while it lasts. Ground.news/majority.